Hello. Today we're going to go into the Egyptian social pyramid, see the social structure of Egypt, which has a much more complex social structure than Mesopotamia, which we just studied. Remember, Mesopotamia was only about four different levels. Egypt's going to be many more than that. It's going to be eight, as you can see here in front of you. So at the very top, we have the pharaoh in charge of everything, followed by his government officials, soldiers, scribes, merchants, artisans, farmers, and at the very bottom are the slaves. So here is our Egyptian social structure. We're going to dive a little deeper into each section, going from top to bottom now. So first is our pharaoh. He rules Egypt as a god, and he is held responsible for everything that's going to happen in Egyptian society during his reign. So, if things are going great in Egypt at the time, trade is very profitable. They're able to grow a lot. The harvests have been good. He's considered a great pharaoh. If the opposite is true, they're during a long drought season, there's invasions. It's the pharaoh's fault. Everything begins and ends with the pharaoh in Egyptian society. Next is our government official. These are the nobles. Remember, nobles nobles are the rich people from rich and powerful families who hold these high ranking positions. They help run the society. They're within each city. Since the pharaoh himself can't be, he has government officials set up in each city throughout the empire who help with things such as collect taxes, enforce the pharaoh's laws, enforce the pharaoh's building projects. So that is the government official's job. Next is our soldiers. Our soldiers, this really pops up after the Middle Kingdom. So in the New Kingdom, Egypt creates this professional army, which offered a chance for some of the people in the lower ranks to have this major bump in status. They received land as payment for fighting in these battles, and they were also allowed to keep any treasures that they held during war. So this is why they held these high ranking positions in Egyptian society. Next are our scribes. These guys are very important and very honored within Egyptian society. They worked for the government and for the temples, and they were able to keep records and accounts for the state. They also wrote and copied a lot of the religious texts in order to preserve them. They had special schools for scribes to go and learn the art of hieroglyphics, how to write, how to record these important events and things that were going on in Egypt at the time. The scribes didn't pay taxes, though, and many of them were able to become wealthy because of this. Next is our merchants. Our merchants are very important also. They're the ones who do a lot of the trading between not only different cities, but different empires. So a lot of the Egyptian exchange of ideas, not just goods, happen as a direct result of the merchants. So they trade the goods between different cities and goods between different empires. So along with that, they're bringing back ideas from these other empires also. It's not just the gold and the myrrh that they're bringing back from Mesopotamia. They're bringing back how Mesopotamian life are doing things. Some different ideas coming from there, and that's why we see a lot of the inventions that start in Mesopotamia get perfected over in Egypt. Next is our artisans. They produce these goods that are sold on market. They needed advanced skills in sculpting, building, carpentry, making jewelry, metalworkers, leather workers. Many of them work for the government or temples, and they're also admired in Egypt. They had architects in this class who designed a lot of the royal tombs and the pyramids that Egypt is so famous for today. Most of them, like I said, often work for the government, were commissioned by the government to build these things and do these jobs. Next are our farmers. These guys are very important, although they're at the bottom. They supply the government with the food, or the entire empire with the food And during the flood seasons, when they couldn't work on the land because it was flooded, they would then move into being building labor and work on whatever the pharaoh's building projects were during that season. So the way it would work, they would use these wooden plows, the cow-drawn plow, like you can see over here, just like Mesopotamia. After the floodwaters drain away, they plant the seeds, and then the farmers would work together to harvest. Now, the way they would pay the taxes was in any of the crops that they would grow. And the pharaoh could demand at any time that they had to either build pyramids, mine gold, or fight in the wars. And last is our slaves. They worked on all the building projects. They're our lowest ranking members of society. However, something that's unique, slaves had some limited legal rights in Egypt, and some of them were even able to earn their freedom. So that is our kind of snapshot look at the Egypt social pyramid. You're now going to go click on the website link that's also goes with this choice activity and read into it a little more for yourself. Thanks for watching.